Hello, and welcome to another day of TA the Degen way. Well, it's been a little bit since we've done any updates on Bitcoin, and just figured we'd pop on and take a look at what's going on. And I see not too much has changed since our last update, where I was talking about diminishing returns on Bitcoin and just kind of two potential scenarios that I see. Today what I want to do is I want to just do a top-down tear-down, and we've got two competing ideas. Continue on for more upside, come back down, continue on for more upside, or this is the end. So what do we want to look at first? Well, we've got our two main models, and one is a bullish model and the other is a bearish / bullish model. And then the next thing we can look at is we can look at our current consolidation range of 70 to 49K. We dropped all the way from 70,000 to 49,000 in less than 1 week. And we have been stuck in this range ever since. So let's hop over to our TradingView ideas page. There's a link in the description if you want to follow us on TradingView or join our free Discord, where I'm posting in there daily and regularly along with plenty of other folks. So here's our pretty much our two main macro models if we want to just tear this down from top to bottom, because really we're stuck in between the $70,000 and $49,000 range. So we got to decide, what do we want to look for to see if we're looking for something up here or something down here. So if we take this model here, which is quite old, so this was posted on June 15th of 2023. Excuse me. So over a year ago, and pretty much has the top right to the week. And then our next time tick on here is about 5 weeks from now, which is pretty much right at about our November election, where we could be looking for more upside to that coveted $125,000 to $150,000 range. This model here, pretty much hit this top 9 months in advance, and now we're kind of coming up here. And are we going to come on down and then hopefully come up? Kind of like what I'm looking at here, where I'm looking at this average monthly range. So here we're looking at a weekly chart, and we have this average range size of about 55%. And if we were to take from our $75,000 high, that would bring us down to about $42,000, somewhere right in there, which is kind of down in this area, which is personally what I've been targeting. Now this is from May 28th, so earlier this year. We've just been kind of trucking along here. So here we would be looking for kind of coming on down into this territory. So those are our two ideas. What do we want to look at with our local price action? So we should take a look at our major volume levels for sure. So basically we want to look at this range that we're trading in right now and try to decide, is there any positive price action or negative price action to give us any indication? Are we leaving the top or are we leaving at the bottom? So let's look at this consolidation range here. So we're looking at 70,000 to 49,000. And so if we were to come lower, we would be looking at about 45,000 would be our next major area here, coming right across here, and right at about 40,000, 40,500 would be another major area. And we got this low right there. So if we look at, is there anything going on in this range to indicate that we could come lower? Well, we definitely have a downtrend. These are all lower highs, all lower lows, and now we're stuck in between these two. And let's look at this price action, this nice curvature. Excuse me. Just following that curvature, that puts us kind of down out and around March. So let's flip back here. Here we were looking around mid-April. Yeah, March, April. Kind of right in that same territory there. And if we were to kind of follow this, we don't really have much curvature here, but so looking at this here, I would say this is a pretty solid trend line, this nice curve in this price action. And we are stuck in between 70 and 49, so if we consider that we already hit this here, we wouldn't be looking to go any higher than our current high if we're heading to the downside. So basically, I think what we need to look at is what is going on in between 70 and 49,000, because now we've came up a decent ways. We've got this trend here already with the curve. Which I'm just roughing that out, Really, I think we are looking more like January. But still, it is so we would not be expecting to go any higher than our last high, around 66,000. And this would then be a lower high, looking for a lower low, breaking below 49,000, and our next real level below here is 45,000. What else do we see in between our, so nothing above this high. This would have to be a true lower high. We've got a pretty clear ABC in here, right here, A, B, C. We broke back below our A level. Now we've pulled back here some, potentially come on up and reject off of that. Something of that nature. So that's what our price action is kind of showing us, is the potential for being set up for a lower high here. But we did put in a, this locally inside this consolidation, this is technically an uptrend. We put in a higher high It's not quite an uptrend, but we put in a higher low and a higher high. So there we go. So we made an ABC, but we fell back below it, and now we're looking at coming up to the $65,000 area, potentially retesting that, maybe rejecting right up in that area, and coming on down for that lower low. What else can we look at with this price action? Let's look at our volume indicator. Let's just grab the volume of this entire range. Yeah, so we pretty much came all the way up to our value area high. We lost our POC. Our POC there's at 63.3. You know, so if we made it up to 65 and took that back, that'd be nice. So I mean, I would be looking for this to reject in this 63,250 to 65K area. If it is headed down and following our model to the downside, maybe something like that. So there's your volume. One thing I wanted to do is, and we do have a very nice D-shaped profile there, very balanced. Let's zoom out here and let's take our entire bull run. Let's grab the volume on that. Yeah, so there's our value area high right at about $58,000. And then we got a very nice volume hole right here from 50K all the way down to 45K. We got a pretty healthy volume hole right there from 56,000 about all the way down to 53,000 or so. Not a lot of volume in there. Kind of down in these wicks. So we could very easily come back down and fill some of that in. And then we always have this big hole down here, which would be a much larger retrace. So let's go all the way from our bear market low to our bull market high. Let's flip our numbers over. Let's look at how much of our trend has retraced. So 38.2% would be about 40K. You know, I mean, my personal target is 42,000. 50% would be this 34K area coming down, and so if we were to come down and fill this golden pocket here, we would fill that hole in, but you know, that'd be quite a bit. But I see no reason why we can't come down to this $42,000 area. So I mean, that's kind of the downside looking model there. Would be to not break above this 66K. Retest 63 to 65K and come on down to 42 to 45,000 bucks. And let's go back and let's look at our more bullish model. So here, you know, I mean, we're looking at this $125,000 to $150,000 area, and we would be looking for this to kind of continue on from here. I also have the, well, you'd have to go back to our last video for the diminishing returns chart. So let's look at long side stuff here. So we would be looking for, we're still looking at our $70,000 to $49,000 consolidation, and we would be looking at this uptrend that is inside of it. So obviously we wouldn't want to break below 52.5. And let's look at how much of this has pulled back. So if we're going to continue, let's move our numbers to the right. If we're going to continue up, we pulled back about 50%, pretty darn close to, we would want to see this continue. And let's look at the curvature of this price action. There is a little bit there. We would want to see this, which would also be breaking this downward curvature right there. And we've got this power level here right around 55,000 bucks. Feel it's more like 58,000. Kind of right in there. We definitely wouldn't want to lose this low. So this pretty much have to take off. You do kind of have this little makeshift head and shoulders potentially forming, So alongside, you would want to see this take off. The only other thing that we could really look at here, well, first let's look at this. One thing I wanted to look at, let's go down to our hourly. Well, no, let's stay on the daily here. So we're consolidating between these two. And let's grab our Gann box. So I'm going to start at the low. See how nice and proportional that is time-wise? Here, let's pull it up to our price level 2. But here I've pretty much taken it to our first pullback. Very proportional, very proportional. So this is giving us a potential end to this move of November 1st. So, kind of that first week of November, which is kind of been a target area, and it's the election time also, which I would imagine that if Donald Trump wins the election, you would think there would be some bullish sentiment. It seems to be the theme anyways, but maybe we get a bunch of destruction and economic chaos just the same. Here's our Gann levels, but here's, time-wise. Look at how proportional this is. We start at this low right here. Put that right on that low, Very proportional. And then level-wise, 50%. Here's our 61.8. Basically this is the value area right here. I would say it's like the center line. It's the midpoint of all of this action. So, time-wise, we're looking right about there. Alongside, I would want to see that continue. The only other thing that we can look at is our wave trend oscillator. And let's see. So I use the Fu Manchu on TradingView. Go ahead and hit the delete button. So if we look at our daily oscillator here, looks like I opened two. We do have this nice curvature here. I didn't draw a very good curve, but so I mean if we just follow this curvature, we would be looking for a potential top move on the bullish side, right in about there, and we would be considering these waves right here, which don't look very promising. You can see our previous downfall into this low, following the curvature down here, pretty much right on the money. Now we're following this curvature to the upside, so we would need this to break up higher. So we would want, and we would be looking for this to top out mid-November, which is, you know, the date on our bullish model. You know, maybe we get another leg like this. Come on back up towards these highs, or even better yet, break above and play around and take off. But I mean, really, I see it stagnant for a little while. You know, we're stuck obviously in this range, but really we're stuck between 70,000, 49,000. You know, I see a lot of negative price action. I mean, this oscillator is looking a little bullish, but let's go down to the 4-hour once. Let's see if we see any curvature to the downside in reverse. So I mean, if we just look at our, I mean, to me, I am still looking for more downside, or at least more time before it takes off, but I am totally open to the bullish model. You know, I expect it to get there eventually anyways. Here, let's look at this curvature here. If this continues, we just printed that red dot. So, unless we take off here, which, you know, maybe it will, until we're getting a little baby red or green candle there, we can see our VWAP line is kind of crossing over. We basically need to take off. So, we are looking at this uptrend right there, and wondering, is this uptrend going to fail and come down farther? If it does, I would say that is definitely more indicative of the downward model targeting 45 to 42,000. So obviously we broke trend. We retraced about 50%, we said. So we've already seen that we've got this downward curvature. Get rid of our oscillator. Say our daily looked a little weak, but we still have a chance right here to kind of recover. So since we started this downtrend, we've made a nice ABC. So I would say any break above here is leading more towards the bullish side, you know. Something like this would be bad. something like this would be good. And here's our $65,000 level. We got nice resistance, nice resistance. It's our support resistance flip right there. So if we do break this, you know, we don't want to break this for downside, and for upside we would want to break this and continue. But this trend here doesn't look too terribly hot for upside. So let's look at it a little closer. So I will be continuing to target the downside until we actually break 66,000 with more than just a wick above it. So we could see a measured move. Bringing us up to our $65,000 area that we're kind of looking for. Grab our Gann Box, and let's say that's our low. Let's get a 64,250, 65,200. And 66.9 on the bullish side. We just look at retrace levels. Our golden pocket would be right up in there. So we basically came up to the 382, you know. So I would say if we reject below this 50% point, anywhere below 63, 63.5, I'm going to be still targeting that downside model, looking for 45 to 42,000. If we can break on out of here, well, then be at least targeting these highs, that's for dang sure. If not, 125 to 150,000. But if you like this kind of analysis, hit that subscribe button, like button, and feel free to join us on Discord. There is a link in the description, totally free. Just like to have the free flow and free share of ideas. But hey, until next time, trade well.